What is up, YouTube? This is Fortress Trading coming to another delightful episode here on the DBS podcast. And here with me is just going to be the three of us. So we got Yeovani here.
What up, Kevin?
Doing well.
I hear hammers in the background.
Really?
I wonder if people are gonna riot because Bandai couldn't get it right the first time.
Yes, I see the hammers of time. They have all compiled the most important card, and everything is coming. It is here. And we got, of course, Angel here.
You know, contrary to what you said, I'm not seeing any hammers. There were no banned hammers that were hit this time around, which is really bad.
Are you
It's
sure?
banless season. Konami called.
Oh, don't
Konami
worry.
called and did their ban list on the same day our ban list was. That was very interesting, actually. Watching that unfold.
Don't worry. They're just gonna wait until the set drops, then hotfix ban very expensive cards.
I mean, that would be the plan. U3 called and said they didn't like that.
They could very well.
Yep.
They could very well just be waiting for the next set to drop or the draft box reveal.
No,
Yeah.
Don't worry, that's fine. Alright, so now for today's discussion, we're just going to have maybe a little short video. Unfortunately, Noel isn't actually going to be with us. He's officially camping in the mountains, so...
No way.
So enjoy your time, Noel. We hope to see you on maybe the next episode, and and have a good time. So right now, we're going to go ahead and discuss about the promo, secret rares, and of course, officially as announced today, the ban list and errata list. So let's get started with our review. So the first things first, we got the promo Gogeta the Eclipser. It has critical. An auto effect is if your leader card is red. When this card is played, choose up to one of your red unison cards and add a marker to it. Activate main by paying 1 red energy. Choose one of your red battle cards with a original power of 20,000 and place it in its owner's drop area. Play this card from your hand.
It's a 19k crit. My problem in here is going to be the same problem that I'm going to have with the upcoming SCR, is just one word, and that's original. That's the only problem. Like, I can't use this in Broly because it has Servant, and it doesn't have an original power of 10k. So if I wanted to, I couldn't use it.
To quote Geo,
It's
so
a nice
original. Agreed.
Right?
Mhm.
Exactly. It's a nice card.
One cute play that I thought of with this is if we bring back the is it Time Patrol? Not Time Patrol Trunk. The Trunks that brings out the critical vanilla. You can just bring out the 20k crit and just go swing 20 crit, 19 crit.
Oh, you mean the one that lets you summon skillless cards and then may become crit for the turn?
Yeah, Dimension Support Trunks.
Yeah.
I love that card.
Yeah.
My only question is, please tell me this card is not going to be that, this being the last card to be revealed, was going to be like one of those tournament cards you're going to get when you enter it, and this is your free card. Cause
I think this is the premium pack promo.
Because nobody wants to get like a free Gogeta card unless you're a Gogeta player, and I really don't.
I mean, some people like that deck, but yeah.
Yeah, but
I mean, it doesn't have a target in Gogeta. Like,
It's a nice generic card.
yeah, if you're running a red leader and you just have vanillas in your deck, like, the hit leader can use it, because you're probably going to play a 20k vanilla anyways. But if it's just a cute card that you tap 1 for a 19k crit swing.
maybe you could play this in Yamcha.
What does Yamcha have to target with it, though?
I don't know, maybe you could ride this with aggro, just put pressure to your opponent. I'm just guessing here. Yeah.
But, yeah, I mean, you can run it in vanilla, and skillless Goku, or Kidku.
Yeah.
Okay. Alright, so we're gonna go now to the secret rare reveals. And I'm gonna do this cool thing, so we're each gonna actually read the cards out. So I'm gonna let Gio read the first one, and then Angel, you read the second one, and I read my last one. Go ahead.
exactly. I was looking forward to this unison too. We have here the Vegeta Warrior from another dimension. Ultimate Double Strike Permanent. This card can attack if it has 3 or fewer markers on it. +1 activate main. You may place X cards from your energy and their owner's drop areas. If you do, place X cards from your drop area in your energy and rest mode. +0 active main rainbow colors. Draw 3 cards. This card gets 15,000 power and triple attack for the turn, and your opponent can only activate counter skills 1 more time per turn, and it's a 25k base. Do you want me to continue and give you my thoughts about it?
Sure.
Yes.
I think this is I think it has some potential down the road. I like that it's a 25k unison for one if you really wanted to. They can't just outright kill it because they have to combo into it. But I believe Android 21 would have a field day with this one. I don't think it's good for like AOD. I wouldn't really run that. I was kind of thinking maybe U7. Maybe Vegeta, Gohan, or Frieza, one of those leaders could run it with the rainbow effect that they have on the cards. But I think it's an interesting unison, and they don't give us things for no reason, so I think it'll probably be better down the road than right now. And maybe Vegeta could use it too. The set 2 red leader. Probably not, but
yep.
You know, I think it's got potential down the road.
Yeah, I probably agree. It is only for like decks that have like a lot of color codes to work out. There was a lot of negative feedback when this card got revealed. Yeah, a lot of people didn't really were fond of when they were just reading this card. It's not bad. It's just, you know, it's just not.
It's not good.
It's not good either. Yeah, it's just not the best secret you could tell because it's too limited. It can only have like a certain type of amount to be played, so it is going to be considered only for rainbow decks considerably because of that effect. It is smart to have that permanent because if you just summon this for free, it'd just be like a free 25k and it's just be kind of stupid. So, you know, if you play this for like 1 entry, I wouldn't say it's a bad card like I said, but you know, and all I can see right now with that counter thing, it only counters against babies, so it's like its own, it's like, hey, like, you know, Angel, counter, except it's not a counter. It counters the counters of babies, if you get my drift.
Yeah. I don't. This card, yeah, it has potential. I see you dropping it probably like turn 3. So that way you can get yourself set up. Contrary, it doesn't necessarily have to go into a rainbow deck specifically. It can go into almost any deck, and you just have to have either the multicolors or some other color, or the 4 colors in your discard pile for you to just replace it in the turn, first turn that you play it. So that way it sits up with a decent amount of markers, and then the next turn you're able to tap the 4 mana in order to draw 3. I see that being the play. Like you said, it's meant to really stop baby. It does have, I do think it has good potential. Like maybe if you put in Shenron, you could put in Shenron, so that way this has triple attack, then you can give triple attack to a double striker on board. The only big problem with this card is the problem in the meta, in my opinion, which is going to be dormant. Although you can just keep tapping 4 cards to draw 3 cards, saying as though that's not a -4 marker or minus any marker. You can just tap 4, draw 3. Dormant is still going to be this card's biggest weakness.
And why is that?
Well, I mean, you swing. I mean, if you tap, you know, you tap your 4 cards, you swing double, they dormant the first one, then they dormant the first one, then you swing, and they either block it, or they just out combo it, and then that's it. You tap 4 mana to draw 3 cards. Isn't terrible, but also not that impressive.
That's true. I was also thinking that maybe like if we're getting, since we got this, even though it's not Super Saiyan 4 Vegeta, it is technically a Xeno Vegito. I'm thinking maybe like we might get a Vegito leader at the next set since this has already been revealed. So that way we might get to see Super Saiyan 4 Gogeta and Super Saiyan, I'm sorry, and Vegito, or maybe Super Saiyan 4 Vegito Zeno, you know, and maybe at the next final set of the Unison Warriors, so that they're trying to play it on. That's why they had the two of them as secret rares, so that people can see how adjusted they can work. So maybe the idea for this Vegito is it needs color codes, and the Gogeta, of course, is going to be black because it's going to have all the Gokus and Vegetas from GT, or maybe it's a little tech with Zeno, but then again, they're not really meant for Zeno, they're meant for Shadow Dragons. But you never know, so it could see a future.
Yeah.
So
I think the biggest problem that everyone has with this card is that you can only really play it like turn 3 and tap the mana, and then you have to sit there and have the negates for this card, because unlike every other Unison that you can tuck a card under this, so that way you can gain the extra marker. This is the only card in your deck. You can't gain extra marker. You just have to put it at 4 by its own skills, or by its own skill, sorry, and then try to protect it within that turn.
that is true. It doesn't have any the negate number on the activate main thing. It just has that you don't pay mana, but you do have to pay a cost of your energies. I don't know. I think maybe they should have done that, like instead Nec 4, so that, you know, it didn't make it complicated, because it's a secret rare. It's the first Unison, and like the first impact of a secret Unison we're getting, and this is what it's giving us, and that's not good. You know, it's already kind of shown like a little bad review for it already. So you probably won't see this card in the near future until maybe about, I say up to within 5 sets. Because, I mean, besides this, I know people heard this, but like within the next 5 sets, if you don't see this card being as much potential, then by far it's going to be lost hope until they make a deck and it's like, oh, I need this card, and then it goes up for price. So for now, it's going to be like the weakest.
I do think this card and the Broly Secret Rare, they should have swapped colors around. Then this would have been 100 times better.
And speaking of Broly, why don't you go ahead and read about our boy there?
Alright. Now we got Super Saiyan 4 Broly, the Great Destroyer. You know, fan service card, like always. Ultimate Barrier Double Strike. Choose one mono red Saiyan with an original power of 35,000 in your battle area. Place it in its owner's drop area. Play this card from your hand, then choose up to one of your mono red leader cards, and it gets plus 10,000 power until the start of your next turn. All cards, and then permanent, all cards in your opponent's leader, battle area, and combo area get minus 5,000 power and combo power. So this card, I do think it's like really good, but the problem, like I said, lies that it designates original power, so you can't like how people try to heartfelt plea by giving something plus 5 and then sacking it off. No, I can't give something get it to plus 35 and then kill it off within that turn, which is very unfortunate. I think that's its biggest downfall. It only works with 4 cards, only 4 red cards, which was the 6-drop Broly that we just got, the 5-drop Gogeta, which we just got, the 5-drop Gogeta that evolves onto that card, and then, sorry, the 5-drop Gogeta that evolves into, the 6-drop Gogeta that evolves into the 5-drop from set 6, I believe, and then the Gogeta, the 8-drop Gogeta, that turns into a 4-drop. Those are the only cards this card can target, so hopefully in the future we get another target that's a little bit easier to access. I know both of its primary targets are easy to get. The Gogeta comes out turn 3, so you can play this card on turn 4, and same thing with Broly. Broly comes out turn 3 or 4, depending on the turn order. I do think it's also really strong, and it's permanent that, you know, basically it says your opponent can only super combo or 10k combo, or if not, then everything's gonna die. Kind of like how the Super Saiyan 3 scrambling was. So overall, I think it's a good card, just its own original power is the biggest downfall to it.
Great design of a card. I love it. It's beautiful, but yeah, I agree. It's not as powerful. I feel like the secret rares in this set, even though we haven't read the baby card yet, but we'll get to it. They're not as good as like kind of like as big as what maybe the last set did. Got more oomph to it. I feel like this leader only has to be reserved for only at least like mainly Gogeta, of course, because they do have the 35 power and they're mono red and of course Saiyans. It's kind of a little bit more restrict. You don't really, even though it has like that good of permanent effect, it's at the same time it's not a good of permanent effect because if it's like I said, if it's not the original, I mean, who cares? It seems like I felt like this could have been the Broly that like the other Broly original cards. Since this is compared to Legendary Broly with SS4 power. It could have been more catastrophic. Could have done something that says, hey, I'll KO your card, and hey, oh, you're gonna get powered up. I don't think so. I'm gonna knock you out and do that. Maybe a little more destructive to it. Put more aggro to the build to this card. But they didn't. They just do the whole, you summon this card, blah blah blah. I do this, blah blah blah. Double strike, blah blah blah. It's kind of like, kind of meh. I do like I do love the art. I'm okay with a little bit of some of the effects, but I just don't think it's that great of a secret rare. In fact, I think it's considered one of the worst secret rares.
Oh, so I guess it's my turn. I think the red and the blue secret rares from this set are better than the black Unison. I like the card. I think it's good. I think it's good in the Brawly deck itself. But it's not. It's good. It's not great. It's not amazing. It's not Cell Secret Rare. It's not the Invoker Secret Rare. It's not Smoky. But it's good. So I mean, time will tell how many people use this card. But it's not bad. It could be worse. That's the way I'm choosing to look at it. So
fair enough. I wouldn't. Yeah, I agree. I wouldn't say it's worse. I've seen way worse cards. So. It's okay, but it's not the best. So we'll go ahead and talk about my boy, and also half of Gio's boy. It's Baby Hachiak, Saiyan Destroyer, Ultimate. Counterattack. If you have 3 or more energy, negate the attack, then play this card, and your opponent can attack for the turn. First permanent. If this card would be removed from your battery, remove it from the game instead. Second permanent, if your leader card is mono blue, you can choose one other card in your hand and discard it instead of paying this card's energy cost when activating its counter skill from the hand. Now I believe it's my turn to go ahead and rant. So I love this card. It's the best. It is a must-have for the baby deck because it is a counter, of course. I'll admit its first permanent does kind of suck that once it's out of the field, it's dead. I do love its second though because it makes sure you can have it for free. I know for a fact Noah was commenting back in WhatsApp saying that this card is trash. I'm not gonna say it's trash, Noah, but I will say some faults. So the flaws that this has, that this card doesn't have, it doesn't have barrier, or even its own deflect, so it doesn't get countered by anything. Because like you can actually counter this card anyway in like a mirror match, or against your opponent's other counter cards, depending on whatever deck they have that contains it. Doesn't even have a double strike or triple strike or dual attack or anything like the Great Baby had. I feel like that's kind of like a mishap you missed there, because I think this would have been the best secret, which I'm still going to say is the best secret out of the 3 because it does have a good effect. Hey, and speak of the devil. But anyway,
he's not right there right now, but if you leave a message, he'll get back to you as soon as he can.
He has no service, he's camping.
Well, Mal.
Anyway, we're discussing about the Baby Hachiak Secret Rare, but I'm just gonna finish my rant, then I'll let you talk about it. So I can just, do our little counterpoint here. So, I do, like I said, it's a great card, but if it had a little bit like a little more like something that could add to the effect to it, like the barrier or the double strike or anything, I think this card would have been a lot like one of the best blue secrets of all time. And it's also great because the best part about this secret, it's not one of those that require you to have a specific leader or specific type. So, which is really great about these counter cards in the baby deck, because not all of them have like that effect where it requires the baby leader. Unlike that Revenge Big Bang attack, because you know it has to have it since it's basically a DMAC with draw. But this is pretty decent, and I like it. It does require that you do need the mono blue, yes, but it doesn't require to have a type of leader, so I like it. So it's really resourceful, and I really want to pull this out and maybe in a booster box because you know I'm not gonna spend that much money, of course, for a high secret rare. But I say out of all the three, and you probably might agree, or if you disagree, so however you want. But out of the three, this is by far the best secret rare in my point of view. Even though it doesn't have barrier, double strike, or anything, I say it's a really great card. So, must have.
I think the SS4 Broly's better.
Yes, I do think the SS4 Broly is the best out of all the secret rares.
I have red and blue tied.
So we all agree that Vegito is shit. Then.
I like this card because it gives blue a bomb. It buys you a turn. It's neat. It's something architect specific, oddly enough. So like these secret rares, they're not game enders. They're almost like toolbox cards. Secret rares, and they're supposed to help whatever deck they're gonna go into and give you a different option that you have normally.
They're all
So that's the way.
I'm definitely glad about the SS4 Broly because now Red has a good secret rare that isn't Frieza's Army Reborn.
I mean, it's good, but it's not great. That's the issue.
No, he just doesn't like how
yes,
Frieza Army is taking
obviously,
over.
but I'm just saying, like, people aren't gonna, like, when they're playing Red, they're not gonna automatically just be like, oh yeah, I gotta play a black secret rare or a red secret rare now. Or not, I'm sorry, or just Frieza's Army. But I have to go. Sorry, bye.
Fuck you, Frieza Army rules.
Also, they didn't ban Kotukai, so fuck you guys.
Well, fuck you, Bibbity's dead. Eh.
Okay, well, I didn't get to really rebuttal him, but he's actually very, very wrong, which is unfortunate. Because the Broly can only go into 2 decks consistently. But, you know...
It's Noel, but don't worry, since he's not here, and he will see this episode later on. We can always shit on him.
That's
like we
true.
always do.
Now, with this Hachiyak, I just want to say real quick that I think this card had so much potential and they let it slip through. I understand that they had to put the permanent there, that it removes itself from the game. So that way you can't just keep re-spamming it. The problem is, that's the problem with the card though, is that, you know, you can't spam it and you can't really do much with it except swing 40k. Now if it was at least double strike or at least crit, then you know, this card's pretty decent. But the fact that it's just 40k beat stick that comes out, that you have to pitch a card for it too, let's not forget that. You have to discard a card to play a Nimbus.
Nimbus and Dormant and have always, and even Toko.
Yeah, I mean,
I know.
that's not the end of the world. I mean, you do it. That's a great way to review it now. This is the first secret rare Nimbus, so
Yeah.
I like that.
I mean, I honestly, personally, I want to see this card played in Beerus, just to piss your opponent off. Like, if I was playing Beerus to get to 16 mana, or 15, I think, I would
16,
definitely
16.
play this card just to piss off the opponent when they think they can go in.
It's 16.
Hands down.
And I agree. I like that. Okay. So if we rank up all the secret rares, I know Gio says there's a tie between blue and red. You say red, I say blue. And I guess we all agree that Vegito's secret rare was such a big disappointment.
I think that when it comes down to these 3 secret rare, or the secret rares in this set, none of them are great, none of them are terrible. Like, it's kind of like with set 11 or set 10 again, where those secret rares, none of them were too extravagant. Like, the Gogeta was good.
I'd still rather have the Gogeta the 8 over these 3.
Well, I understand the Gogeta was good, but it wasn't Like,
The green ape is better than these three too.
And I actually have that card. Lamau.
hey,
So,
I got the Go Tanks. Yay!
No one cares.
But
Well, but if we,
yeah,
but
I mean,
if I can agree, even though Gio, you say the secret rare Gogeta was the best one thing, I think the last best secret rare of all time, before 10 and 11, has to be Cell. You know, like.
Yes.
I mean, all of set 9 secret rares were probably the best secret rares in this game.
I still prefer Cell because Cell's been more destructive than Invoker.
Currently, yes, but I think for their time, the best secret rare had to have been the Victory Strike.
Oh no, that's still number one. We're just saying the last best that was released. We're always gonna say Victory Strike Goku is unbeatable. It's gonna be undefeated, you know, and its price is,
the
you know.
Invoker one also has Victory Strike too.
But it's
Well,
not.
but remember, Gio, the original Victory Strike was completely game breaking.
And the
thing
fact,
is-
and it's you can't even get it now because it's super
really
expensive.
good. Yeah, it's really good.
The only problem with that secret rare was if your opponent had Self Awakening and they were playing yellow, then you just cried because Shugesh Goku Kill, which should come back, but you know, too many people want to bitching and playing.
And speaking of bitching and playing, let's go ahead and now talk about the ban list. So today, Bandai has now released the ban list where no card got banned, no card got limited, only 2 erratas, and 1 unbanning. And the card that got a ban was Scrambling Assault Sun Goten. Now, a lot of people who know this card who played around set 4, I'll explain. So this card was back in the day with Storm, which is where you would go on Storm, or sometimes played with SS3 Storm. It was also part of a Goku lineage deck for fun. This card was not really that expensive. When you just basically just enter tournaments and they just give it to you for free, so you get copies for it. And of course, the most expensive will be like its reprint for like a special tournament championship rarity you get when you enter some sort of regionals. You know, because people like to be rarity whores and everything. But what I'll explain with this card is when you have the old Bardock card, which is currently banned, you go ahead and swap out to play this card, and then you just look at the top 3 of your deck, choose a card among them, add it to your hand, and you put the remaining cards in the bottom. And the best part about this card was it didn't require you to get Goku lineage cards. It just gets you any cards you need, and then send the rest. It was the ultimate pot of duality, and it was ridiculous. This card, along with Bardock, and there's also got banned. It got flute limited for a while until it got banned later. Unmuting got limited. You know, it was by far one of the most unbelievable cards. It's now back at 4, but it questions me, why would you want this card to be back at 4? Like, are we going to see maybe a little Goku lineage in the future? I'm not really sure.
I mean, you could play, you know, there's Go Tanks, there's Surge Guru, there's quite a few yellow leaders if you want to go that route to play with this. I mean, it's interesting because you could literally play the Storm with the new Bardock Ape, with Raider's Warcry, with, you know, Mira, High Mastery, and the old Victory Strike they were talking about. You could just jam all those cards together in the deck and just, you know, make it go.
I'm really glad this card's back. I know a lot of people had a ton of copies of them that just went to waste, but I do really like the card itself. I just think that it was sad that when it came out, it got heavily exploited. But for good reasons, it got banned at the time. Although I don't think this card ever should have been. I think from the start it should have been Unyielding. Like, Unyielding should have just been the card to get banned instead of this card, because this card was originally banned, then Unyielding got hit and then banned. And then Bardock got banned out of nowhere after this card was gone.
Okay. Agree, but I think this card maybe should have got limited, the same as Bardock, but then again, you know, like, this card would have been annoying. Probably what would have happened if this card stayed banned, but Bardock would have stayed maybe at around 4 or maybe at 1. What do you guys would think at this time? Like, do you think Bardock should make a comeback, or it should stay banned now that this card's out?
They're never giving us Bardock, but they made that clear on the notes.
Yeah, they did mess up with Bardock. The fact that Bardock was a 10k beat stick that came out for 1 mana and helped you self awaken was too powerful at the time. Like, if Bardock ever comes back, I'm more than sure they would do it with an errata to make it a 9K as opposed to a 10K.
But then you have to like reprint the cards.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, I mean, they're doing it now lately because they've been super lazy with that idea.
And speaking of erratas, we got the Golden Boy.
Oh, and by the way, before we do, so Angel, do you have any copies of of some Goten?
I don't think I do anymore. I'm pretty sure I burned them all.
Would you like to buy some?
No, I am good. I do not want to buy the card when it can only be comboed with the 4-drop blocker.
That's good because you
Sorry,
might.
1-drop.
Don't worry.
4K.
Would you like to know the price of this card?
Nah, I'm good.
Oh, I think you do. Here you go.
Okay, let's see. What is it? Ah, neat. It is the price of boobs.
Yes, I'm gonna go buy my house now. I have 4 copies of that one.
Get all 69 copies, gentlemen, as that's what's left over. $80,085 for the event pack. Ooh.
Yeah, I have 4, so I'm just gonna go buy a house now.
Exactly, Jazz. All right. All right, so enough goofing around. Let's go ahead. So here are the errata cards. So the Son Goku Power of the Golden Grade 8. We did discuss this during the blue, actually no, the promo reel about a week ago, and we did say this was card got errata, so we are gonna read it. So its original text was, it said, activate main once per turn, pay 2 blue energies, draw 2 cards. The -4 effect, which is the one previously, was if your leader card is mono blue and you shuffle 5 mono blue cards from your dropper into your deck, draw 2 cards. Its now errata effect is same effect with the first effect, but the -4 is activate main if your leader card is mono blue and you shuffle 1 mono blue card from your dropper into your deck, draw 2.
Did you I think you forgot the fact that it's tap 4 to draw 2 cards in the first active main.
I had to literally copy and paste from the DBS Facebook page, so.
No, but you said it's the first one stayed the same. You didn't say that it was tap 4 mana to draw 2 cards.
It's fine.
Yeah.
Wait, I think by now that everybody knows it's not tap.
Yep. Bandai fucked up with this card. I think full well they fucked up with it. Printing 2 copies of it and then immediately errating it. Or I guess translation error, right?
Speaking of messing up,
and now the biggest
here comes my big rant.
Bibbidi.
Oh yeah.
So the Bibbidi Primevio Conjure finally got their errata. We weren't really expecting this type of errata, but they had a reason for it. So original text did say if all your energies die, when you combo with this card from your hand, this card gets plus 1,000 combo for the turn, and for each card you have in the dropper and warp. Now it's if all your energy is black, when you combo with this card from your hand, this card gets 1,000 combo power for the turn for each card in your drop area and warp up to the max of 12.
So my biggest issue is, and I love you guys, Bandai, but if you have your conviction, stick with it. Because you make it look like you weren't going to do the errata at all. Because they have posted a list, because I was up at 3 a.m. There was a list that was posted with Goten back. And the other errata to the blue unison, and that was it. It was fine. But people complained and complained for an hour, and then they came out on Facebook and said, oh, we made a mistake, however, how can you make a mistake when it's dated with today's date? Maybe who knows if they were just testing the waters to see if it would notice, if people would complain. But they need to stop pandering to people, and they need to make these decisions themselves. They run up Bibbidi, that's fine. Maybe play it more aggressively now, maybe do 2-2 split, it's either here or there. Vegex is still a really good deck, that's not going to change with this. But they need to not listen to the community, and they need to make the decisions on these cards themselves, because they're making themselves look like, we made a mistake. How in the world is nobody hacked you, so they made this decision on the card, and they themselves didn't think it needed to get errata until people were complaining and whining, and Thankfully, I'm glad that Booney didn't get banned. I'm glad Koizukai didn't get banned. Some of these other cards that I'm glad that they're letting the metagame develop. But like, man, we love you. We love you here on the show. Please make your own concise decisions and don't pander to people because that's what makes card games bland. And if you just ban and get rid of cards that everybody wants, it's just not a fun creative game anymore at that point. I think that's something you need to get into.
And be lucky this is Geo and not Noel, because we're not gonna hear the end of it.
Well, I mean, nobody probably like, it's not fair. But like, in all honesty, the errata's fine. They did a creative errata. They just didn't give it to the bullier. I mean, that deck just got worse. Like, they only have a set amount of combo power, and it's fine. Like even if Vegix didn't even play this card anymore, they can still play Mirror Creator Absorb. Like, there's ways around this. Like, it's not the end of the world, and going into the next set, like Vegix, Dark Brawly, Green Frieza, Invoker, Shenron, Reboot Gohan, and maybe one other deck I could think of, or like Macho Vegeta, Red Brawly. Those are also really good decks I make up. Like those are the decks I'm expecting to do well. This errata doesn't. I think this errata is kind of gonna put people into a false sense of security, thinking like, oh, it's not that good, but you could still get the effect to have this being a 15 game very early in the game, so you could just combo and get it back with mission accomplished, or the 6-drop Vegix, or Trunks overseeing time. Like, this card's not dead. It's different, but
Yeah.
we'll just have to see how it goes, because I think people are just gonna, like they did last time, oh, it's dead now, and it may not be the case this time either.
Yep. No, I agree with you there. I do like how they went with it. I don't think anyone was really thinking that they would make it a kind of limitation on its skill. Everyone just wanted it either out of the game or taboo. It does heavily hurt the blue deck, and like I said, I really like how they did it. In a sense, it's just like I told to Kevin earlier. Now it's just a regular super combo. Whereas with the regular super combo, it's a 10k, then you draw a card, which is probably going to be a 5k that you combo with. Whereas this one's just your straight 15. You just don't cycle. But let me ask you, are you gonna in Vegix? Is this card still gonna be the primary one, or will they be kind of doing a hybrid with the new black super combo to draw 2 cards to better cycle out?
I think 2-2 split or 4 Bivities is probably, it's gonna be one or the other. I can't really see 4 of the other super combo, because at least with Bivity, now you can combo early to, like, if you don't want to take a double strike damage or take something that you don't want, you can just use it now. You can't really hold on to them. I mean, you can, but like, there's not really a point into holding just to use them all in one attack. Like, there's more versatility with super combo now.
Yeah.
I like the Vegix one, don't get me wrong, but it's like you have to be at 4 life, and it's a 0+0, and you have to have a card to put on to draw 2. There are limitations with that. Like, I think it's so 2-2 split or 4 Bivity is where I'm thinking at the moment.
Okay, that's fair. Well,
yeah,
that's what I was curious about. Just like I am disappointed with the ban list this time around. But it's like I said, that they're probably just waiting until at least draft box. They also, I think, hopefully I'm right with this, and I think it is actually a good approach, is they're letting this set play out until draft box, where then they're going to start releasing the cards that they quote-unquote claim problematic. Because I feel like they probably did receive a lot of backlash, because they preemptively banned cards before a set. They preemptively banned Use 3.
That never saw a tournament setting.
Right, it never saw tournament setting, so they're gonna, at least this time with COVID lifting up, there's gonna be more tournaments. They're gonna at least see what set 11 is gonna do for at least a month or so. And then once Draft Box comes out, and probably give
Well, I
Draft
mean,
Box another
the
month or
pro-
so, then they're gonna
the
release
problem
it.
with that is that set 11 drops the very next week. Draft Box 6 comes out.
Was it next week? I thought it was at least within a month.
Wait,
No, it's the very next week.
Draft Box 6 is coming next week?
No. Once set 11 releases,
Oh.
the week after Draft Box 6 comes out.
Oh, okay.
Oh my gosh.
Jesus Christ. Gio, you
Still,
literally hype these
hopefully-
people to go fucking insane. Pulling their
Yeah.
hairs when they hear it goes, oh my god.
Well, to be fair, remember this set was supposed to release earlier than expected.
Exactly. They pushed it back. Yeah.
Yeah, so since they pushed it back, now we're gonna just be cluttered, which I think is probably just gonna be bad right now. Is that we don't have enough time for a format to settle in before we advance. I know this was one of the problems that Dragon Ball had early on. A lot of people are complaining that they released a set and then they're so quick to jump on a new one. But I think this is probably for the worst, seeing as though it's only a week after that we're getting a new set. We're gonna get a complete meta change again, because we all know draft boxes are pretty ridiculous when it comes to support.
Yeah, they're defining. Yeah, that's like because I'm gonna play in that PBG regional in October. I'm buying singles at 11, and I'm gonna actually buy the drop boxes.
I was also
Because,
informed. Oh, go ahead.
Yeah.
What did you say, Kevin?
No, sorry, continue.
Oh, because I don't want to spend money on set 11 and then all of a sudden a week later, like, there's other decks and those decks may or may not be good. So like, I'm just gonna buy the product that I know is gonna be for something. Just buy singles. I'm just gonna buy Red Brawly, Majin Vegeta, Dark Brawly, and I'm just play. Get singles for that. I just play one of them. It's just not that fixed.
After discussing this, thinking about it, I don't think this set's gonna be doing pretty good. I mean, yeah, it has like good. I mean, besides Majin Vegeta and Blue Vegeta and Baby, I'm not saying it's a bad set. I know because it's more like my set. I'm just thinking in my head right now, this may be a problem because lately I've been hearing different discussions from you that with the Digimon card game now coming here to America, that people have finally been waiting. And I remember you were telling me
that's going to be super hard to get because they're already saying that those starter decks, boxes, and cases are going to be very limited with them for certain.
Yeah, and now like with that game coming out the day, and now things are getting a little slower. Like I remember you were telling me this week that PPG informed you and David about the situation where they were not going to do a tournament yesterday on Thursday and tomorrow on Saturday after this recording comes out. Yeah, after this recording they were doing a meeting, and you guys ended up convincing them like you did with cool stuff because you always find a solution to make sure that we do have this tournament because if they're not going to do a tournament, that's going to be bad for the business. And I know it's maybe because it got a little slow, but it's not really like it's not like it's the set's fault.
I think our community takes COVID very seriously.
They're being smart. They're not trying to be that stupid. I mean, PPG's but PPG can't just cancel. Like, if it didn't have enough players, you cancel the tournament. That's the idea. You don't just announce, yeah, I'm canceling this. There's no point. Why do we bother? No, don't do that. Not unless if COVID's still spreading in Florida, which has been getting worse, and we're trying to fight our way because we are now considered worse than New York City, and we've been more open lately. I think for the fact if you're trying to just be smart. If we have to shut down. If you have to close down tournaments for a reason, that's fine. We're not going to judge you for that. We're trying to be safe. It's for safety reasons. But if you're going to close it down because you just don't want to, and then you got to prepare for a Digimon, you're insulting already one of the Bandai stars, which is the DBS community, and that's really hurting them. And that's also hurting your business because PPG also mainly represents DBS, even though probably they're not going to last long, because they already lost most of their top guys already. But still, it hurts the community, and without DBS, you're not going to go anywhere. I mean, when they opened the time when DBS was already out, so they're surviving on this stuff, and Yu-Gi-Oh, of course. And both them and Yu-Gi-Oh already had their ban list revealed today, so it's already had a big counter thing between both card games. Honestly, I just feel like right now, with everything in this situation, right now I think Bandai is pushing as much as they can, so possibly maybe Draft Ball 6 will be the last one of the year, and I think they're just gonna take a break and then prepare for like set 12. Maybe it might come around either early to late January or maybe about February, which I think they should wait maybe about February. Like give time so that
There's a premium set. There's a premium set collection in December.
okay, let that be the last one because they're pushing too much, but at the same time that's just gonna annoy the players because they have to save money, spend more money. I mean, hell, it's already being once they do a list and everything, they're just gonna buy it out and stuff. So it's just it gets ridiculous.
Yeah, did you not see Goten event pack and Koizakai's?
Yeah, like we've been talking about it since the beginning of the podcast, and it's been getting so ridiculous. Like this, it's funny that the game wasn't selling out until COVID came, and then by Draft Block 5, everything started being selling out, and it's hilarious. I mean, yeah, Draft Block 4 was one, but with COVID, everything started selling out. You know, like oh, when the Zamasu stuff came out, oh, it's that good, like everything it went up. It was ridiculous, you know, and it's just so sad that people are going this far to spend that much when you could just start saving money, because if you lose a house, that the blame is on you, not the card game, because you were too gullible to get something that you might know might be banned. Because imagine you were the one buying the Obunis, you know, and if you bought those Obunis or Kosekais and you ended up like spending all your money to finally get those cards, but then they got banned today, for example, then you would have wasted all of that and you're never going to get it back. And when you do return them, you're only going to get less of a profit, and especially since they're banned, you're going to get even lesser profit, so they're not going to be useful. And then they're just going to be in a collecting dust for a long time. Since once they're banned, they're going to take a long time, because it took a while to get some cards to get unbanned, like SS3 Goku is coming back with Errata, or Sun Goten 10 right now coming back. So that's really big. And I also want to respond to your comments as well, that I know that ban list is unbearable. I agree. I was expecting more to the ban list. I'm very disappointed that like nothing that was supposed to be very devastating to be effective could have been hit. Like, yeah, sure, Roshi could have been hit, like you said, or Obuni, because that was the big question there. Or Koitsukai, for example, maybe Bibbidi if it needed to, or it got errata for a way you're supposed to, and when it did, it's something that you were unresolved with, you were unhappy about, and that's true. I feel like there could have been certain good cards that could be errata. I feel like they could have done more, and I do agree with Gio too earlier with his discussion. Bandai, you need to not ever listen to the fans. It's good to hear comments. That's nothing wrong with that. We understand that. And you're trying to be helpful. We have nothing wrong, because you're the opposite of Konami. But at the same time, that's not good for you. If you keep listening to us, you're going to make your game even worse. And who cares if people complain? They complain about all the crazy stuff. That's what a card game does. That happens every time. We move on. You have to put your foot down sometimes and be fair. The fault is on them, because they buy up the cards and the card prices go up because you only have a limited amount of resources. Okay, alright, and there's nothing else you can do. And you know, they're gonna blame Bandai because they made a good card and it's limited and it's not their fault. You know, like they can only have a certain amount of cards to be portrayed, and when they do want to get it out, you know, it does go lower. People are gonna right back up, find a way to bring that price go back up, because when they see that opportunity of seeing the card go low, they're gonna be like that. They're gonna go ahead and make sure that card goes up, so it goes valid for them. It's good for their decks, and they could probably get rid of it if they ever want, if they don't even want to bother playing the deck, or before it ever gets banned. It's not gonna be like that guy. What was that name? The dude who got kicked off, and who could predict about the U3 cards game ban before.
What, the 3xG guys?
Yeah, 3xG guy, for example. You know, he did all that. He got the prediction, and he's kicked out, but he got his money worth, so he doesn't care. For example, but you know, yeah, it's just there's nothing else you can do. I just don't want to see Bandai look soft, and if you keep this up with it, yeah, I think Digimon will take over, but it's not because it's going to be a fascinating game for the players. It's not just that. But if you're not very careful, you're going to make some sort of mistake, and it might cost you. So as a piece of advice from all of us, play it smart and make sure you take your time thinking and think it through, because if you're creators of this game and you know what the ruling of the cards are and how it's supposed to be played, make sure you understand what you're going to do. Because if you make a ban list, if you show a list like this, or you show mistakes when you profile the card, but it's like, oh, I forgot to change it because it sounds stupid, then you're already gonna make your company look bad, and you're gonna make your products look bad, and people are not gonna bother to keep spending their money. And most people who left other card games like Yu-Gi-Oh or Magic to play this are probably gonna go back to play Magic or play other games like Vanguard or even Pokemon, or just not play a card game at all. You know. And I've seen the amount of people have doing that, so you have to be extra careful. Just think of this as like a mistake, but learn from it, so that we can be prepared for the next one. And I'm just gonna end my rebuttal there.
Here's what I think, and if I'm right about this, I really hope I am, is hopefully Bandai is gonna take, it's funny enough that I found out about this. Hopefully they're going to take a right approach with how they balance League of Legends, and the fact that they will release something that's broken, right? Or something that's really overpowered. Fans will complain after a while, but sometimes if they find it fair, they will leave it alone and let the player base figure out how to counteract and counterplay and play around whatever it is, and the game itself starts to develop, and you see new skills and new mechanics. Hopefully with this ban list, like there was a lot of problem cards that people were just complaining about that aren't problem cards itself. Like I do think Bibidi was a problem card. I do think Master Roshi is a problem card, because my problem with Roshi is there's no counters to that card. It's just you tap one, you grab any extra cards to your hand. Now, I was complaining about Dormant Potential, but Dormant has counters to it. You can play around Dormant. Dormant doesn't negate an attack. You can do different plays. Now, Obuni is a card that people were saying that should be banned, but in reality, I don't think it should be. Could be hit, but I don't think so either, because once again, there are counters to it. Every color has a counter. If you're playing green, you just Dormant Potential. Okay, cool, you just killed all their Obuni tokens, and now they can only attack once. You know, if you're playing any other color, you can play the 6-drop Mass Saiyan, pop everything, blow up their basically blow up their board. Every color has an answer to it. I just can't think of the answers right off the top of my head. But those are like some of the big problem cards. But hopefully I do want to see them be a little bit less with the ban list. I like the unban of the Goten, because that wasn't, like I said earlier, it was, in my opinion, wasn't too much of the problem. It was the unyielding that was the problem. And I just want them to basically ignore the player base, but not ignore them at the same time. Like, just analyze the tournaments, analyze what's going on. Host more of the online events and spectate them. Look what's at the top table. Look at why they're at the top table. They're pretty fast. Sometimes they're fast. Like when Cell won regionals, they saw the reason why it won because of a exploit in the mechanic. Okay, well they hot fixed it after, which was good. And then you look at what else was broken over then, and people that were quote-unquote complaining, but some of those cards aren't in the meta anymore. They're not being used anymore. Same thing now. People are complaining about Cell Xeno. I don't think it's too broken. Yes, it's really strong, but it is a secret rare. Let's keep in mind that. Secret rares back then were meant to be game-ending. You drop a secret rare and it's either you scoop, when you drop the secret rare, your opponent's supposed to scoop, basically. That's how they were really designed to be. Now, this set around, they worked lackluster, but it is what it is there. But I do want them to take a more hands-on approach with analyzing tournaments and less listening to the people. They need to figure out what's wrong, and the community itself needs to suck up and learn how to play around certain cards.
That's agreeable.
Yeah, I totally agree.
Okay. Well, I guess that's pretty much what we have to say for today, guys. I know it's a little bit much, but I will say that I want to give a little update for today. So next week we're just gonna take a little break, so there won't be no new episode then. So I guess we can wait to see maybe what happens the following week though. Or there's personal reasons why I have to like make sure there's no episode. I'll probably take you guys off recording, but well, we're just gonna take a little hiatus, take a little break. We have caught up with everything, so we do thank you so much, guys, for catching up with the all the card reviews for set 11. We hope that we can maybe get info maybe sometime soon with Draft Ball 6, as Gio said. So if we might get it, we'll see what we can do to maybe have a chance to do an early recording, and I'll try to post the episode as fast as I can, even if it's the middle of the week. I'll do the best. If not, we'll just stay in a hiatus and we'll probably come back soon, if that's okay with you guys.
Alright.
Okay. Alright, guys, so thank you for joining us for this. Let me know what you guys think about this ban list and all the secret rares. We want to know your opinions about what we discuss about Bandai and with their solution, and maybe if they could fix their mistake or learn from it. So without further ado, guys, we hope you enjoy this episode. Get this video a like, comment to your friends, share this video, subscribe if you're new, like our Facebook page. And this is Angel,
Yup.
Giovanni,
Liberty will always live in our hearts.
and Fortress Striker of the DBS podcast, signing off.